Lining up tonight, Coach? Lineup?
Well, Andy's in nets. Going with 6 Ds. Wolanin is out. We were supposed to have Balsers in, but he's sick. So that's too bad because I was really hoping to see him play. We just to give you context for us, the way we decided last game is that he didn't have a very good game, and his practice was just and I wanted to see how he'd rebound, and we had some talks, and you know, his work ethic wasn't, his attitude wasn't where it should be, and so I had to talk with him that, you know, that's part of the learning curve with the young guys. It can't be a given. It can't be a freebie. It can't be something that you're automatically given. You're in the lineup because you're young. I mean, that can't be. That's the wrong lesson. So, so we chose to put Wolanin in last game. It was between him and Wolanin, and Wolanin was the young guy that we chose last game, and so I was really looking forward to see Balsy because he's normally a gutsy kid. So I wanted to see his rebound. I wanted to see him showing why he's here instead of the other guys there in the American League, and it's too bad he's sick. But it's just one example that with the young guys, it's not just about putting them on the ice. You gotta give them the ball and teach them, but make them earn it. It's the number one thing. If you don't make somebody earn something, they don't grow, and they take it for granted, then you're not going to get what you want to go with those guys. So that's why it's sad. I really wanted to see him in the lineup today, but I think we're getting Batherson up, so that's really good. So he'll be in the lineup, so he's going to get another opportunity. And I thought he played good the last time he was up here. So I know the situation of what happened lately, but I like Bath. I like him. I like his game. I've always liked his game, so I'm sure he's going to come and help us.
Can you explain or share your opinion of the way that Wolanin has played of late, and explain the decision that he's the guy?
Well, right now, I mean, I'm not going to take out Boro on the left. Harper has been probably one of our best, if not our best, lately. So, I mean, am I going to take him out, and you want me to take Shabbat out? No?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they're going to be okay. So that's the thing. So on the left side, we've got those guys that have done really well. So and on the right side, Yaros and CC and the Mellow there, we're going to keep. We need the right side defenseman there. So that's where Wolanin is. That's usually we never have all our Ds, and now all of a sudden we have all our Ds. So Wolanin has to get in when he can and be better than somebody else.
Can you just talk about, so I can say Seth Boucher, about how Wolanin is playing?
Oh, well, Wolanin is, I mean, he's a high-end offensive player that needs to continue growing defensively. I mean, it was the same in the American League. It wasn't like, okay, he's perfectly ready. You can. That's not where he's at. He's still got room to grow defensively for sure. I've always liked him. I've never hid from that. I'm a big fan of his, and I'd like to have him for the power play and all that. But the bigger picture is the 5-on-5 and how you can be reliable as a defenseman. And he's still got room to grow there, and so that's where we're at with Wooly.
Guy, la tempête était un peu passée, la dernière limite, date limite en action passée. Y a-t-il eu une rencontre avec soit le propriétaire ou le directeur gérant pour donner, je veux dire, souvent quand il y a une reconstruction, comme ça c'est le cas ici dans les grosses compagnies, une équipe de hockey, le propriétaire va descendre en bas.
Non.
On va aller voir, il n'y a pas eu de rencontre dans ce sens.
Non, nous autres, on regarde ça. Ça, c'est des affaires qui sont faites à un autre niveau. Puis nous autres, au hockey, là, on regarde ça hockey, puis très fermé, très concentré sur les joueurs qu'on a puis qu'est-ce qu'on a à faire. En ce moment, on a commencé à mélanger tout ça. Là, c'est ce que ça fait, là, ça serait étaler puis étirer encore plus là, ce qu'on a vécu récemment. Fait que là, nous autres, là, fermer la porte puis passer à d'autres choses, là, c'est nécessaire, puis c'est ce qu'on a fait avec le groupe. Ouais. We're today. Today, we're not playing the 18 other games. Nobody's going to be involved in LeBreton Flats and our players, and that has nothing to do with today's task. Brady Tkachuk today has to play hard, has to backcheck hard. He's got to fit with Tierney today and see if we can make a connection there. That's the only thing that matters, because if you go into a game thinking of all these things and the next game and the next weeks and next year, impossible to play a good hockey game. So for me, my job is the opposite, is to trim all of that to its simplest expression of what we need to do today, because Nobody knows what's going to happen in 3-4 months from now, which players are going to come in, which guys are going to sign, which young guys are going to develop over the summer more than others. And all of a sudden next year you got 2-3 different guys, you got some chemistry, and then three guys develop faster than we thought. And all of a sudden you get a draft pick that fits in your lineup, and then whoops, that's what happens all the time to every team. There's things that change that you can never expect. So why would we spend our time expecting things that we have no clue are going to happen or not? I know today, though. I know what we have today.
I guess it's more the fact that when you look at what happened in Washington, that the likelihood of games like that taking place down the stretch, is that where you need your veterans to maybe protect your young guys a little bit?
Well, they can't protect them more than what they are. That's the lesson of last game. You can't be somebody else. You're you. Be you at your best. Don't try to be somebody else. That's the lesson. It's not overprotect this guy and overprotect that guy. It's if you're at your best and you're solid, then the young guy sees that. And in your role, he's going to draw what he can out of your role because you're doing it well. That's the leadership that we need to have. Everything else is asking guys to be what they're not, and that takes you to what we saw last game, because it's not. It's like asking a young journalist to say, okay, I want you to be as good as this guy's been doing it for 30 years. It makes no sense. You have to make sure that the person plays within his limits, but is great at where he's at right now, and then the rest is the next step. So if I don't do that, then I'm sending young guys to not develop, but actually go down mentally and emotionally and physically, and that would be wrong. So the talks that we had with our guys, leaders, is to be themselves, and the young guys is to make sure that they continue the development they had been doing since day one, which was terrific, to be honest with you. Like Kachuk's having a great season, and White's having a great season. So Yaros has become an NHLer. Like, we didn't think that before the season started. So that can't change, because all of a sudden now there's a few guys that are not there to score some goals. Like, it doesn't change Yaros is the way he defends. It doesn't change the way Kachuk is going to drive the net and back check and do his thing. So that's where the focus has to remain.
With that in mind, your impressions of your new guys, Lindbergh, Gibbons, Duclair?
All three have contributed, to be honest with you. Like Duclair, we know has speed. He's got skill, and when he keeps his game simple, like he's done the last games, he's definitely helping us in our situation for sure. I mean, he's still a young guy, but for us, it's experience right now. And you know, he scored the other day, had a breakaway, could have won the game for us. He brings us speed. We don't have that much speed right now, so that's a lot for us. And he's got some high-end skill, and so we're trying to make sure that we can fit him in the areas where he feels good about himself and can bring that, so that's good. And I've always thought Lindbergh was very smart. We watched him on video last year and the previous year, because you know his name came up sometimes for possibilities of trades or whatever. And, I had done a lot of homework on him. I know the scouting staff also, and he's always seen as a smart player that can kind of do it all. So that helps us with our group. And Gibbons is an extremely hardworking guy. Like we 2 years, well, was it 2 years? With Jersey, he's a premier penalty killer, and he was a guy who brought a lot of energy, and he's very smart. So in our context right now, this is more than welcome. So we'll see where they fit, and like I've told them, if they're better than some of our guys, they're going to take their spot. Merit is the #1 teacher. There's nothing else. It's not about where you're drafted, and it's not your age. It's if you deserve it, and you should get it. If you deserve it and you don't get it, then you're not teaching anybody anything. And so that's important for those guys too. So if Duclair's better than some of our guys, he's going to take their spot. So I think those three guys right now got a great opportunity, and that's positive. And so I know there's a lot of outside stuff, but for us right now, like I'm looking at the board, I got different power plays. We tested a different power play last game, and we scored. And the previous game, we actually scored with the other power play. They didn't allow it, but that's 2 games now, reshuffling things around, and you know that's a positive thing that we want to keep. And so those are the things I have to look at, and the players have to see as great challenges that we can have success with.